So today is 15/21. Last week there were no demos. Today there is no Dean. Do we have a demo without the Dean?
No, not from me.
No demo from Antoine. No demos. We talked about branding. There was a survey. We have the results of the survey. I didn't hear. Someone made some noise, but I didn't hear. I didn't hear. So branding. With a survey, please go vote. I don't think we can see the results from the survey. Yep. So survey triage, we talked about some new options we could have in the authentication. And that's it. Okay, so today, demos. Loading. No demo. Topics. Last man, no topics. No topics. Rewrite it. Last man. No topics. Or balance. It's beautiful. Status. Orchard 1. Things were merged. So upgrade YamlDotNet because 9.1.3 is not available anymore. I don't remember what to say about that, but this one is in one. Bypass cache for XSRF tokens. So when a user is authenticated, now there is a way to store the pages in cache if they have an XSRF token, T-forgery request token. And what will happen is that it will substitute this placeholder to a new token whenever the cached page is rendered. And to the new token, meaning for the token for this page and this user, because the cookie will also be sent with the same value. This way, even pages with forms can be cached, but this is only for authenticated users. When the feature is enabled, it's a very special feature to that. So that's what's new in Orchard 1. This one is older, Orchard Core. Dev branch. Not much. Let me check the date. 11. At noon we saw that updated MimeSharp.Web. Fixing this issue, media cache, Azure Blob Storage issue with 0 byte files. That's weird. What is that? Because the 0 byte files is supposed to be handled by this library, or is that another issue? Cache path. That's the local cache for Azure Blob Storage. Maybe that's a different issue. I'd like to know what's the issue there. So yes, flush should be called, or do an await using, in this case, same thing. But this is interesting. Yeah, I'd like to know what was the issue there. Antoine,
link in the chat.
Link in the chat. I clicked, okay. I've been able to report 0 byte file issue. What is in the task? Getting queued up to get resized by ImageSharp. The problem though is that the request gets cancelled and therefore it needs a 0 byte file there on the drive. Okay, that's different. Okay, ImageSharp might have locked some files, but this was fixed. But here, that's interesting to throw an exception. If it's flushed and it's 0, maybe why throw an exception? What's the issue there? Either delete the file so that the next one can create it again correctly. Throw exception is weird, or log something, but throw to break the request, that's weird. I don't see how it's solving the issue because the next call will also be 0. Okay, we'll see which Jasmine. StartBootstrap clean blog 510. So Antoine updated the template with the new updated blog theme from StartBootstrap. Yeah, that's where to have the input. Oh, this is the SCSS. Okay, so the root will have the SCSS. And then also the CSS. Okay, yeah, it makes more sense to have that in assets. Sources output. Okay. Same thing for agency. Updated things. Upgrade YesSql from bin because I should just to get the filters. Oh no, this contains some fixes for MySQL. This contains fixes for MySQL for documents that are bigger than 16K. I think it was using a wrong type in MySQL, like text instead of long text. So it was limited in size. Long text is not limited, or at least in the megabytes, in the gigabytes, which is better. So that's the change here. Do not throw if input is blank for display URL. Just if a template calls display URL on something that is empty, then it won't throw an exception. It will just render nothing. That's what people prefer in their liquid files. Admin dashboard tag helpers, admin dashboard tag helpers. Okay, missing reference, so the tag helpers couldn't work. Serve module compile view for package reference. So this found by Niraj is that when you use NuGet packages and you run in development, it would recompile all the result views, even though they were already compiled in the NuGet package. So this code is to just ensure it doesn't try to recompile if it finds the correct DLL. At the same time, I'm just thinking that it's different. Oh, maybe it's indifferent. For 6.0 because it's a different DLL in .NET 6. So you might need to check that it also works in .NET 6. Because in .NET 5, there is a .views.dll. In .NET 6, it's in the same DLL as the module. MailKit and MimeKit updates. Azure Identity updates. Monaco updates. Azure configuration secrets. What? Oh, we were using it, but it was not listed. Okay. Data protection blobs. Okay. Oh. Very minor update. Monaco version. Here, package dependencies. There, deployment steps. Oh. More deployment steps. Lots of deployment steps.
Some missing ones. There was already a recipe step, but not the deployment step. And only for the ones that don't have a secret in the settings.
It's Facebook login, so now you can export these ones as long as they don't have secrets, because we don't handle that in the recipes.
Yes.
Until Dean's branch is finalized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good job. That's it. Still no demos. Any topics? Any questions? Or should we look at the PR? Antoine, do you want to say something? I heard the noise. Let's look at some PRs then, because we have time. What's going on? I've seen some work on data annotation localizations. I didn't read the thread, and I don't see here Jasmin or Isham talk about it. We saw Bootstrap 5, and we also, not sure we mentioned that during the meeting last week on doing triage, but this won't be a 1.0 thing. It's too early to get into Bootstrap 5, and too many breaking changes in the admin templates. What was talked about? I had a discussion with Dean, I think yesterday or the day before, yesterday, about the audit trail. audit trail. Gabor, you mastered the audit trail. What is the audit trail? What's the status of the audit trail? So many commits.
Yeah, I saw commits from Dean and from Jean-Thierry also.
When was that? This one, update. Up, routes. Lots of minor changes.
Lots of minor changes and stuffs like supporting the dark theme.
Okay.
Admin in our trail as well. Yeah, and stuff like that. But to be honest, I haven't checked the newest commits yet.
So how ready is that? Are we waiting for something from Jean-Thierry still or from Dean?
I will ask Jean-Thierry about this.
If you ask Jean-Thierry, it's never finished. There is always some minor things to do, right? We'll have to see. And the discussion I had with Dean is that I think probably he will still work on a feature in the contents module to be able to list all the versions of a content item and revert to a specific version. So a very simple module that when you're in the content item list, you see the versions from the versionable option, and you can revert to one of them. And this is independent of the audit trail because the audit trail keeps its own trail of changes, independent from the versioning feature being enabled or not. And not only does it do it for content items, but it also does that for all the other types like users, settings, and any event that can happen in the system. So this way, there will be two different features related to history management, but one for legal reasons and one to just be able to revert back to a previous version, because the audit trail doesn't let you revert to the old versions because it's independent of the version, just tracks the changes of the content. Good, Gabor, with that. It doesn't change anything for the audit trail, but it just fills a gap that the audit trail won't implement. And that might be sufficient for most users. Well, for most users, for many users. And those who want the audit trail will be able to enable the audit trail. That's all I have to say about that. We'll see with Jean-Thierry to get a status on how it's mergeable. What else? Is there any big thing here going on? Oh, there was something. Did you see? I can open my Twitter. I think it's there. Sipke, who started integrated ELSA workflow, which is a ripoff of the workflow in Orchard as a separate feature that he improved in terms of UI, and now he's integrating the ELSA workflow back into Orchard Core as a replacement of the workflow. So it makes it a better editor, at least, as you can see. So far these are the same, but yeah. So what's new here is this new kind of workflow editor, bigger activities, nice connections. There is a plus on the connection. I don't know what it means. I haven't seen it clicked. This is working, but this is the same thing. If I go back here, properties advanced, I think it's the same single instance, did successful workflows. Here, I think this UI is better because it has nice thumbnails. Or maybe we have them, but at least these ones, they are up to date. This editor looks different. Is that a modal pop-up also in Orchard, or is it a full page?
It's a page. If you want to configure an activity or a task.
Okay. That's where to have a checkbox here, because you can only select one. Oh, what? No, sorry. No, it's an input. It's okay. No, that's an input. So if, yeah, triggers the activity. Okay, so you can trigger on this URL based on these verbs. Okay, so here it's just a get. Oh, sorry, I thought it was output. It's input. So this is nice, and also this is. It was already resizable, I think. So plus what? And oh, the plus means insert an activity. That's interesting. That's a different paradigm. That you have a connection and you click plus where you can add things. That's interesting.
Maybe it's just vertical and.
So it's vertical, but you see here you add an activity. You click on the plus here. So you add an activity to an existing connection, and it shows all the available connections. So that's interesting. It seems nice, actually. So you don't have another gesture to do to connect to activities. I wonder how the model is done. Like, is it, you know, how do you define the editors for the different activities? I assume it's not using parts and stuff because Elsa is not part of Churd. So maybe, yeah, how is it extensible? Or is it based on Vue.js, for instance? I wonder how it works. ISO notification on top right here. Workflow successfully published at version 1, and then it works. Okay, just to show that the workflow works. Start. So here, at main changes, there is a start here, and it's not an activity that is the start. It's from the start you add activities, so I assume that you can add more activities to start the workflow. And that looks nice. Maybe we'll get a demo here soon. So just a tweet. So here, this one I should still block. Elasticsearch. Let's see what's the date there. Wow, so much history. 15 days ago, nothing new. Code reviews and bugs to fix. Janice has tried it. And I think that's about it. If I look at the milestones for issues for 1.0. Internal file path disclosure. If anyone wants to fix that, it should be very easy. Here there is a notification that shows the media path, the full URL of the media path. So I think we commented on. We didn't comment on that, but we realized what, how to fix that. So if anyone wants to try and fix that, that would be nice. Oh, there is a PR definition. Oh, that's not what it suggested. Okay, and there is some more of it. So not the solution, but we need to fix that. We don't want to see the full path of the. You see it's correctly encoded, so they tried to inject some script, didn't work, but they could see the full path, which is bad. Not really cool, but it's bad. So we don't want to see that. And that's the only thing that is assigned for 1.0. Anything else? Any questions, topics? If not, we'll wait for more demos next week. Okay, nothing then. And I have nothing on my side. I don't think I've worked on anything related. So that will be it. Thanks everyone for joining. See you next Thursday for the triage or next Tuesday for the next meeting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.